Oh, oh, right. I was gonna play the music. I was actually gonna get this thing started, and I was staring off into space because I mean, it's pretty normal. Oh, I was gonna construct the tweet, and then I saw a tweet instead. Let me get over to Twitter here. All right. Ah! Trying to post on Twitter. Hit the wrong button. Okay. So serious. We do need to be serious about this. Soundboard works? Soundboard works, background music works, I work. Oh. Oh, I got a cowlick today. What's going on? Ah, totes and apropes. Alright, dry hands. It's crazy, water makes your hands dry, you know? Okay, so first things first. Which should come first? I think that the first thing should definitely be the refreshing the chat window because it crashed and I want to see what chat window says. Okay, chat window refreshed. Next order of business, pop top, my friends. And then also I got a little bit of scraggle air. There we go. Got a groom. The right way. Not in a bad way. Goodness knows. Okay. So, fill it up. And then I don't know what the vendor part of the triplet is supposed to be for. I don't know if we leave that blank or if we do something with it. We just ignore it. I kind of want to put it in there for completeness, but my understanding is that Apple will always be Apple, Linux will always be unknown, Windows will always be PC. I think that there's cases where that's not necessarily true. But I don't know what those cases are. Well, fill it to the top. Like it ain't never gonna stop. I'm also gonna refresh the chat window here because I think something went awry with it. So we're gonna give that a 5 count. And then turn it back on. Hopefully it loads correctly. Okay, that looks like it loaded correctly. Before it looked like it kind of loaded halvesies. Which it does from time to time. Okay. So we've got all of these targets in these distinct permutations. And we don't have any V3s, interestingly. for the x86. And I don't know if AR64, if we're going to have a V2 for that soon, or what's going to happen there. Or if ARM's just such a Wild West that it's up to... Because ARM is a specification and a trademark. But the individual CPUs are manufactured by different parties, and so they can implement things according to their wishes. So if they're thinking, okay, well, for this device, you know, say Nintendo wants to make something, we need this capability and this capability, but not that capability, they just don't put in that capability, apparently. So you have really odd generational stuff that happens in ARM that I don't think happens anywhere else. Because you can have an ARM processor that's a V6 that has some features that have only been available since V7 or, you know, some such like that. But maybe that's kind of the same thing with Celeron. I'm not sure. Anyway, point is, we're down from 800 permutations. But then the problem with these permutations is that they, you know, the hyphens versus the underscores versus the slashes and periods and, you know, all that. Yeah. Anyway, this one, we get rid of it all. And we... Sorry, it was the brain. Yeah, we narrow it down to common architectures, the most crazy of which are the ARM variants, because there's A and L and KZ, and I don't know what happened to EL. We've got MIPS EL. There is ARM-L, but we're not dealing with any of that. And then there's MIPS LE and PowerPC LE and EL, and yeah, I don't know what to make of all that. I really don't. So, I mean, the good news is, you know, people that are on a Raspberry Pi, they've been living that life, you know? And people who, you know, like this is going to benefit. We haven't really been servicing PowerPC and MIPSL, and not Lung. I don't know how you pronounce that. So it's a net benefit, but we do have this issue of the ARM stuff just scares me. That's all it is. How in the world do we have a 390X Darwin? Is that possible? Can that be real? There's no such thing as a 390X Darwin? Is there? That's probably something I did, or someone else did with the Go releaser. Probably accidentally. Well, Go probably allows you to. I mean, technically, Darwin is a Unix operating system that's open source and free, and so technically, you could run it on anything. I don't think anybody does, but that'd be interesting to see where this one comes from. That one just seems weird. So I'm only expecting I'm not expecting Darwin on, well, PowerPC. I'm not expecting Darwin on most of these. So I think somebody just has their configuration to do cross builds, which might very well be one of my own tools. And then we're seeing these Darwin builds for an operating system that no one's actually built. That would be interesting to see. Is anybody running Darwin on PowerPC 64? I mean, you can build it for it. It can be built. GNU Darwin? Yeah. Okay, so I think that those are just cross-compile targets that are technically possible to do, but not realistically something that anybody's going to do. So anyway, we've got all the targets mapped out here. We've got 100% of them, and there are no unknown targets, and there are no mismatch targets. Or rather, there are some mismatch targets, but they can be explained away. And I think that I'm actually going to get more strict with the matching on this. Like, we don't have ARM v6 HF, for example. I just put that in the ARM 7 category. But I think that we're going to have some waterfalls. So basically, every single variant of ARM, this is going to be a tedious process, but every single variant of ARM is going to have a waterfall to say, basically, if you see this, you know, if it's an ARM v7, allow installing ARM v6 hard float and ARM v6L and ARM v6, and just go down the waterfall to the point where, you know, as long as things are likely to work with that binary. But then you got to take into consideration the hard floatedness, because of, yeah, I don't know. It's a can of worms. Like, this whole section here, I wish I could just delete it because it's so confusing. I don't know what to make of it. And I do wonder, what is the one ARM v7a? I think it's Zig. I think that's the one ARM v7a out of everything. Obviously, this is, you know, there's 30, well, once we whittled it down, there's over 26,000 release assets that were categorized like this. And I'm gonna change this one to be, instead of star, that just doesn't look good, I'm gonna call it any arch and any OS. And I think that I gotta figure out how WASM works. Oh, I trimmed WASM from the list. We could put the WASM stuff there. I don't know what it would. Yeah, that's one that I've trimmed because I don't know what it means. But it actually probably would be good to put back in. Okay. So with that, let me go ahead and do I want to re-add WASM real quick? I kind of do. Real quick. Let's just see what happens. I'm going to time box this to 20 minutes. Because this could open up a whole... This one could seem innocent enough and then end up being really, really bad. So let's just uncomment, or yeah, allow WASM.js. And then run this again, and then it's going to give us unrecognized term. And then we would just go in here, and we'd go into our big terms S tier, and then we would add... I don't know whether WASM is considered the OS, or whether it's considered the architecture. I have to go look at that. Let me go look at that. That's kind of what I wanted to figure out here. I wanted it just for the sake of something else. Projects root S client. Git clone. I think we could do this. sclient.git. I may have made GitHub the canonical? I don't recall. Okay, I had like a Go releaser here, Go releaser. Okay, so I think that this one is actually out of date. So let me run rough that. And I'm going to try cloning this from 2 other places. BlueJ6, that one's not even up, so that's not it. And then we can try git at github.com/the root company. Pretty sure this is here. Three weeks ago. Okay, so I just did some bad copy pasta or something. Oh, the colon. I messed up the colon. Actually, I shouldn't ignore ARM on Windows for V7 because that one actually is a real build. Okay, so GoOS JS is an operating system, and WASM is an architecture. Because I'm trying to think how POSIX should be done. Is POSIX considered the operating system, or is POSIX considered the architecture? And I kind of want to go with it's considered the architecture. Because a POSIX script will run on a POSIX architecture, which could be any operating system. Any operating system could provide the POSIX architecture in the same way that any operating system could provide the WASM architecture. Or I guess the browser is the operating system, the WASM is what runs. So I'm not sure how I should do that, but that's one of the reasons I wanted to look at this, was just determine, okay, so OS, then unknown. Okay, and then in the architecture section, down at the bottom, we can put term WASM, and we could just put arch WASM. Okay, so that's what I think is all I need to do for this. Yeah, and then it shows up correctly. So good. This was not a million-year rabbit hole. This was an add one term to the glossary rabbit hole. WASM unknown JS. Okay, so now there's probably a couple of those that got added, which is great. I want to see if there is any more WASM in here. Let's ignore the cache directory and then see what we get. Okay, so we got triplets, classification identifiers, build, go releaser, Zig. Okay, so Zig does it an interesting way. Because it does WASM 32, which I think is what WASM is. And then, but then they've got WASI. So let me take a look at how Zig is classifying it, because I think Zig and Go are classifying WASM as the operating system, WASI as the architecture. Let's see. WASM is the architecture, WASI is the operating system. I think I'm going to go with that, actually. Go sometimes does friendly terms. So what is WASI versus WASM? WebAssembly system interface. So that does seem like an operating system type of thing. WASI compliant runtime. So then is POSIX an operating system in this regard? System interface. Portable operating system interface. WebAssembly system interface, WASI. Okay, so I'm going to go with POSIX for this one. We're going to say that POSIX I'm going to go with POSIX as POSIX 2017. System interfaces. We're going to put this in our F tier list. Okay, and then the other stuff I was going to do, I'm going to make sure that anything Darwin always matches on Apple. So vendor is Apple for anything Darwin. Apple, 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 Apple. That's already that way. Okay. So we don't actually need this thing, so I'm just going to get rid of that because that was a thought that I didn't get used, and so better to just not have it than to leave in something that is confusing. I'll leave that one as PC for both of these. Alright, vendor is PC. Let me go ahead and... So weird. Ooh. What would the libc be? Oh, it'd be none, because it's independent. There is no libc. Got it. All right. Oops. Vendor PC. Vendor PC. Vendor PC. Vendor PC. Vendor Apple. And then I'm going to change this to any OS and any Arch. That's weird. How did we have POSIX in there? OSs. Unrecognized term JS. Really? Because I just defined the term JS. Oh, right. So the term JS there we go. All right. Legacy, we're going to do this. Legacy OS map and legacy Arch map. And so then we're going to move the OS over to here. And then POSIX, well, we're going to have star is going to be any OS. And then we're going to have POSIX is going to be POSIX 2017. Is that the latest standard? Okay. Technical Core Agenda 1 and 2. Let's find out what these are.
Any ideas on how long till we get our AI overlords? I say 10 years at max. Maybe 5 if we're lucky.
I think I did that like a pretty good NPC. I've watched some video games recently. And I think I did a good job on that one. How do I find out what a Corey agenda is? All right, ChatGPT. I'm going to ask it, what distinguishes POSIX 2017 from POSIX 2008? What are the technical Corey agenda 1 and 2? Yeah, it tells me nothing. Dang it. I mean, thankfully it's a very strange word, but... No! You were the chosen one! You were supposed to find the Corey agenda, not found them! Okay, so I started going down the POSIX rabbit hole, and so I did not complete this task within 20 minutes. So I'm resetting my timer. This isn't going to take all day. It's going to be fine. Seriously. Okay, we'll try Google. We'll try it. It's kind of weird to see Google on my screen, but since we got here. Corey Agenda 2. Oh, that's 1003.1 maybe. Hey, Google for the win. I hate to say it, but every once in a while it happens. Whoops. Let's see if Brave can do likewise. Oh, yeah. No, wait, maybe not. Yeah, it would be nice to know how far back are we going here. Oh, cool. One of the ancients. That's crazy. All right, that's definitely not right. No! You have to be a member. Oh. Where is the core agendum 2? All right, so I think it's fair to say that it's POSIX 2008. Oh, $0. I'm doing it. Add to cart. Come on. Proceed to order information. Let me go grab that real quick. Dox myself. Dox myself. Alrighty. There we go. European standards. We'll just go. Subscribe for news. Continue to payment. Let's see. Let's do. Ooh, we could do a wire transfer. All right. No,
they'll be sent to my email. I'll never receive them. Ah, the mailinator. All right. Come on, shipment PDF. Immediate download. Where is it? Purchase order. Name. Thank you for your order. Your order was accepted and will be processed. Okay, so this is just... I've been registered. All right, they're processing my order, everybody. Stay calm. Stand back. My order is being processed. My account, my orders, order detail. Okay. Okay, we need to go to my account. Flippy dippy. Where's my account? Can anybody see account? Am I going to have to log in? Great. Oh, okay. There we go. My account. My orders. Unpaid. But I just paid. Order confirmation. Download standards. No! Oh. Okay. All right, let's pay. Let's see if we can pay. What? Why? Content of order. No! I'll never know what the core agenda is. The world will never know. I can't add it to my cart because I can't pay because it's $0. Oh. All right. If anybody can figure out what this core agendum is, Corey agendum, please let me know. All right. Now I will, let me go here. The art of lying to yourself is strong. Ah, the art of lying to yourself is strong. There we go. More Webi today? You found it, David? Is this a gift for me? How did you find this? Where did you find it? I'm gonna have to put this in with like my favorite documents or something. All right, can you do for your next trick? For your next trick, could you get Core Agendum 1? So unfortunate that Chromium Autofill didn't docs that for you. So this is why I have the blue browser, which is my Autodocs browser, and I have my purple browser, which is my no Autodocs browser. Oh, never mind. That's a VOD delete, hopefully. Unless you wish for me to summon some eldritch monsters at your door? What a wonderful and working website. What a wonderful and working site. Cool delay, YouTube. Well, it's not just YouTube, it's Restream as well. The Google Foo is strong. Yes, sensei. All right, well, Google Foo me. Oh, holy shizdizzles. 312 pages for a minor technical correction. Okay. Comments on standards, patents, participants. Oh my goodness, did we really have this many people? This many? That's the most of the 300. So where do we get to the point of no new APIs, enumeration symbols, non-function defines, reserved additional namespaces, contradiction between different parts of the standard, address contradictions, and add consistency between the standard and overriding standards, or address security related problems. Okay. Changes to the front matter. Holy shiz dizzle. Changes to base definitions. Changes to system interfaces. Changes to shell and utilities. That's what I want to know. There's 100 pages of changes to shell and utilities. All right, let's get started on 198 though, folks. We can do it. Okay. That doesn't seem right. Oh, shoot, dog. Okay, so this document defines the numbers differently. The numbers don't start until you get into the document. All right. Page 186 to page 189. Okay, so they bumped a few pages down. This seriously needs hyphen minus. Okay, so does anybody want to chat GPT this to tell me what the differences are? Okay, it sounds like what they said was the wording is more clear. So we're going to go with POSIX 2008 then. No, we'll just stick with POSIX 2017. Why not? If there's a problem, we'll find out. Okay, legacy map. Legacy OS map, legacy OS map, legacy arch map, legacy arch map. So if something depends on the 2008 behavior, we'll find out. And then we'll mark it as POSIX 2008. I highly doubt that's going to happen. So the question was, more Webi today? And the answer is no. No more Webi today. So put this one up top. I put this one up top. Okay, cool. I'm just doing some minor cleanup that's only going to take 20 minutes. And, you know, I did a little bit of an exploration there on the POSIX standard, so no big deal. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Everything's going to be fine. Everything's fine. Okay, so fix. Allow JS WASM WASI. AnyOS/AnyArch POSIX 2017. There we go. Oh, that's shortened IEEE standards. Of course. Ah, yes. The most efficient meeting documentation ever. Try being AI searching that documentation. Page 1 isn't page 1. Welcome to Off by 1 in the corporate world. Yeah, that's kind of expected though, but it's off by 20 pages. That's the part that's the unexpected part, is that the before we get to the table that defines the page numbers, we're 20 pages deep. That's what's a little unexpected. Ah, yes. The errors are the only true source of information. Looks like Webi, smells like Webi, must not be Webi. Continues sipping coffee in burning house. Yeah, we're not doing Webi today, okay, guys? I was just thinking, a little quick dip into. No, seriously though, this is. I've capped this at an hour total now. I extended my time a little bit because I went on the POSIX rabbit hole, which was fine. But this. So the adding the WASM.js stuff, that didn't explode into a big thing. Yeah, I should have known yesterday when I said, "Oh, I'm just going to turn these regexes into strings. What could possibly go wrong?" That one I should have. I should have noodled that one a little better. Also, I'm realizing that I should have raised the output gain on the compressor rather than raising it. Ah, there we go. This should make the sound slightly better. And then we get a little bit harder of a knock there. Ratio, we could bump up the ratio probably like 5-1 or something. 4-1. Threshold is probably need to go lower. Let's start at like -12. I keep on saying like. It's true. The like word applies, but it's not the most accurate word. Okay. Now. Oh, yeah. This is the. Okay, so we're still peaking. I think I could try the compression a little earlier. Makeup gain, whatever. Okay, we're going to take the compression all the way down to -16. We're going to start doing compression. And then we might just do a little more makeup gain. We're going to flatten out my voice. So when I get excited, you can't really tell as much. Oh! All right. Does that sound better? Is the audio quality on that is the audio quality on that better? And then we gotta if I'm kind of lulling and I'm kind of speaking softly, I'm like -20. So this is why we got to do the compression. You gotta do the compression. You gotta do the makeup, output gain, makeup gain. All right. So let me know how this is on volume. I don't know why I'm adjusting the volume today, midstream. All right, my attack ratio is 5-1. Yeah, just I should be overall louder, and then when I get really excited, it should be less loud. Let me know if that's true. Okay. 5 more minutes, Mom. Classic. Oh, I need it. 5 more minutes, Mom. Ha! Classic. That was me last night. I can't say anything. I started to go to bed around 10, made it to bed at 1. Oh, wow, you got to bed early. Must be a huge mansion you live in. I got that one. I got it. David, do you need me to buy you some AirPods? I will ship some AirPods to your house. DM me your address. I will ship you some AirPods right now. Your efforts have been so valuable to me. AirPods are nothing. I'll get you 2 of them. I'll even get you official Apple AirPods. Oh wait, not AirPods. Sorry, I meant the other things. The EarPods. EarPods, not AirPods. EarPods. No, I'm not getting you $300 AirPods. I meant EarPods. Actually, the ones from Apple, you have to get the ones that are Apple EarPods. What? I'd need the ones that actually come from Apple, that are literally from Apple. Because I bought some in the past and I didn't realize until later, because I didn't actually use them, that they were not the official Apple EarPods, and they were connected over Bluetooth, not over Lightning, and they sound terrible. Okay. But I'll get you the real deal here. I'll get you some ones for work. So here are the EarPods with Lightning. And then there's also some EarPods with the standard 3.5. I'll get you either one. I will ship it to you. You can have them for at work so we can communicate. Oh, and if you want to save $1, I could get you some used. I'm going to buy myself some right now, actually. Best $15 ever. Because this doesn't work with the 3.5 adapter as well anymore. But goodness knows, the real Apple EarPods, they are so amazing. And I'm surprised there's not good knockoffs. There's some pretty bad knockoffs. But it's not like Apple introduces everything as if it's revolutionary. It's the hottest thing since sliced bread. But and it is, because they're the ones that thought it up. They're the ones that were like, hey, you know what? We're doing it. Ooh. Now I'm going to try these USB-C ones. I got USB-C as well. Yeah, you tell me what type you like. Send me a private message. I will send them to you. You get up at 5 p.m. Wouldn't call that early. I own nice headphones, just don't bring them to work. Ah, yes. Do they come with free ear gunk? Just informing everyone, I'm hosting a thing where you send me 1 AirPods Pro Max, I send you 2 BTC. All right. Oh, what's Bitcoin down to today? Yeah, Elon, I'll do it. I'll do it. Huh, interesting. Yeah, Bitcoin's up 27 million% from where it started back in 2010 or whatever. It is the strangest thing in the whole world, man. Bitcoin is the strangest thing in the whole world. Everybody knows it's a scam. People still participating in it because they think that they're going to get the better of the other people. But they know it's a scam. It's not that they don't know. All right, so here's what we're going to do. This is going to sound crazy, but this is the thing I actually want to do.
So I'm going to go to fetch builds here, and I'm just going to start cutting stuff out. And we're going to bring it over into triplets. And I think I want to make this work in the browser too. Actually, I know I want it to work in the browser too. It's not just a thought. I mean, it is a thought. It doesn't work in the browser right now, but I know I want it to. I'm going to take a look at how we did this with one of the dash tools. Because there was like a really funky way, because you have to get it to work in Next, and you got to get it to work in this, that, and the other thing. And it's just really, really frustrating. But in the end, we got it working. What's one of the newest ones that we got it working in? I don't know if it was dash phrase, dash site. What's one that I know we used? Dash HD. I know that we've used dash HD in the browser for Maya, for the Maya thing. Okay, so let's take a look at the weirdo wacko stuff we got to do here. It's going to be like this. All right, so with that, I should be able to just come back over here and then paste that in. And then we're going to replace dash D or dash HD with triplet. This is the kind of crap that we have to do to get it to work with build systems. This complexity is not because of the browser. This complexity is because of build systems. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so we're basically defining the module 4 times. I mean, thank goodness the boilerplate is relatively small. You know, when you look at this, it's like 3 lines here, 6 lines here. Oh, this would not pass AJ script lint. I don't know how we could get this to pass AJ script lint. Because you can't do inline ternaries in AJ script. But I think that it's very particular the way that it has to be done. Because I think if we did this, and then we defined it down here, I think it wouldn't work. I think that this is a very, very mystical, magical incantation that happens to work and needs to be left alone. Alright, so type of, prop, some stuff. Yeah. I think it's all just... Yeah, okay. I don't know what the definitions need to be yet, so we'll leave that one alone. But I'll just leave that there as a thing. So what I like to do is do the overarching definition up top and then all the little details down bottom. Just cause. Okay, so I would actually argue we'll do triplet.channel names, triplet.checksum names, triplet.nonbuild names, triplet.nonbuild exts, triplet.build exts, triplet.non-informative. Isn't there a better word for that? You know, more enterprisey word. And then this is going to be for a run. When we do a run, we're going to update those. So these are all of our top level things. And I think that if our clone is the only one that has this, I should probably pull that out, but I'm just going to stick a to-do there for now. Because if there's literally only one thing that does it, then I want it to move into that thing. But if it starts to be common, then I'm fine with keeping it. But I think vendor, unsigned, debug, I think that those are kind of common, so we'll take a look at them later. All right. Oh no. Bitcoin is like the stock market. It is, but it's just more explicitly a Ponzi scheme. Like it takes away the charade because there is no value chain associated with it. It is purely gambling. There is no, I'm going to get returns on this, or, you know, with the other things in the stock market, if you have a lot of stock, you get returns. So regardless of whether or not the stock price goes up or down, you get returns based on the amount of stock you have. And so, I mean, I guess the returns generally are so small that it doesn't matter, because any expected returns are going to drive the stock price to match the price of the returns. So there's that. Yeah, so except for that backing, the stock market doesn't actually have backing either. But the stock market has the appearance of backing. It appears as though there is something behind the stock market. The stock market is gambling. There is no product or service that is directly associated with the stock price because you're not putting money into the company. So when the company goes public, the company sells X amount of stock. So when you buy stock on the open market, you're not actually buying into the company. The company doesn't get more money because of if they issue more stock, then they get more money. But what you're actually doing is you're just buying from other people who owned the stock. So it is that the Bitcoin and the stock market are very, very similar, except that with the stock market, you often get voting rights or you get a return. So there is something that you could get as a tangible benefit other than just measuring whose is bigger. Or rather, not measuring, taking bets on and guessing. It's like a poker game. The stock market is more like a poker game. There are some tangible benefits, but they're relatively minor. Most of the benefit is in the poker game. You are calling a bluff. You're saying, I think this company is going to fold. I think this company is going to do well. I think they're going to have an interesting announcement next quarter. You are playing poker. You're not actually getting anything out of the company. I like Bitcoin when it was a representation of the electrical grid prices. Yeah, so it seems like it has to be at some level, because if the Bitcoin price is above the electrical grid price, then people are going to plug their miners back in and make money. So if the stock market except you're investing into consuming carbon and coal to release carbon, instead of a company that makes a profit. But again, the profit is really, it's tangible but tangential as to investing, info consuming, and producing CO2. Yeah, so yeah. Because the Bitcoin, the only thing it does is produce CO2. There are no tangible benefits to Bitcoin. It doesn't provide a medium of exchange. It doesn't have any returns. It is 100% you're playing poker. 100% without any facade. It is 100% playing poker. I eat CO2 for breakfast. I bet you do. And then you poop it out for lunch. You methane. Well, I mean, there's side projects to sell from that consumption. Yes. Bitcoin's side product is trust, but it's not. There is no trust in Bitcoin. Like, it is a centralized network of a handful of companies that run supercomputer clusters that are backed by investors, right? So if the investor money dries up, as the investor money dries up, which is what we saw over the last couple of years, and the pyramid schemes fold, and you got FTX and Alameda Research and Three Arrows, and I think there was another one or two in there, the Silicon Valley Bank, some of this other stuff, as these things, no, it wasn't Silicon Valley Bank. It was at the same time Silicon Valley Bank. There was another one that was a Bitcoin bank that collapsed. I can't remember the name of it, but that one collapsed. That one collapsed like a day earlier, but it wasn't as big in the news. But anyway, the only reason these Bitcoin mining groups are able to operate is because they have so much investor money. Because it's a Ponzi scheme. The investors want to get in before a big pump so that then they can dump afterwards. And then the company that they invested in is, left with the bag or whatever. But it's really weird. Now Monero, I understand, since that sells you privacy. Rewrite this in Zig. Yeah. Okay, now I don't know where we're up to anymore, but rewrite this in Zig? I could probably rewrite this in Zig. I don't know that there would be a real core benefit to it. Plus, I want it to work in the browser. Because I actually want to get up a web page for Webi that's, hey, put in a GitHub URL here and we'll tell you what the triple host matches are. Canonical triple host matches for these things. Okay, so Git packages we can completely ignore. Show ders we can completely ignore. Git partial header we can completely ignore. Read first byte we can completely ignore. All right, so legacy arch map, legacy OS map, those we need. Actually, that might stay in builds. I'm not sure on that one. Yeah, I think that stays in here because it's actually tightly related to the git build functionality. Okay, so git. And then we should do a detected versus provided. So I should restructure this slightly. Okay, get latest builds. Yeah, all the build stuff, get latest builds inner. We're going to skip over all that. We're going to skip over all this. So all this is just related to fetching the builds. Now looks installable, trim name and version. These ones, they actually do move over. So let me grab these. Okay, so that was 200 lines. That should be fine. I think my limit is set to 10,000.
Okay, so we have a bunch of these things here already. Let me look at triplet dot triplets. And then because we need to escape this from the shell, we're going to do it like that, because we're going to do it like this, and we're going to do it like that, and then get rid of this. Bless me. You're welcome. You're welcome. Everybody's welcome for that. It was a masterpiece. I practiced long. I practiced hard. Alright, the property is... I think it's just a simple array of string. I think that's the best way to handle this. And I don't want this to be non-build names. I want it to be terms. And same thing here. Terms, terms. And then, yeah. And then I think that these are going to change into ext terms build non-build yeah, that's what we're going to do there. And we might actually go full on terms first. Terms, ext's build, ext's non-build. Something like that. Source. I think that that makes more sense. That would be the better organization for this. Yeah, that's probably what we'll do. All right, so we're almost done with this. See, this one's not so bad. Do you like my terms map S tier, terms map F tier? What's the S tier scale? Is that S and A and F? This makes no sense. How does a strawberry get an F? What? I mean, I guess it's okay as an example because they're just saying it's arbitrary. But then, yeah. And I kind of want to do... There's kind of like S tier. If it matches here, it's guaranteed. And then I want to have other tiers. I think there should be more than one. I should probably call this primary tier. Canonical. Like alternates. Because basically, I foresee in the future the possibility of things, yeah, ranking. So basically, nothing in the S tier can come into conflict with anything else. That's the idea. Is that oh wait. What file am I in right now? Uh-oh. Big Daddy forgot what file he's in. Oh no, Big Daddy. Package to triples. Let's go ahead and grab the tiers map though. Yeah. Just a couple hundred lines here of stuff. Bless me. I hope y'all enjoy that. I hope that it really brings you joy. Because there's a lot of people that are kind of whack-a-moles out there, and they can't appreciate a good belch. And I hope that y'all can. I hope that y'all can appreciate the tonality. I'm staying on key. Is tonality even a word, or is that one of those things that people make up, like object orientation? I love the Prime's take on that, by the way. All right, I'm getting a little close here. Probably gonna have to add another half hour to my timer, but it's okay. So we're gonna need to export each of these with a better name. That's the beauty and terror of a public API, is you actually have to think about naming things. I don't know what to call this. To template, to pattern. Trim. Trim static terms. Something like that. Basically, we want the purpose of this one is to get rid of the name, the version, and then any just junk words like binaries or stuff like that. Oh no. So this one's going to be difficult because, yeah, see there's the regex in there. Maybe if we escape that, maybe that'll help. Nope, still matches. I don't know what to do about things like that. We could just provide that in a comment.
There we go. What? Okay, so this matches on the line, but it still matches over there. What? The letter L? I don't know what to make of this. You know what? We could just provide the match in there. I think we can do this, and I think that this will work. It's not going to break anything. Okay. Yeah, most of the tools seem not to do so great with some of these things. All right, and then this one. The thing that we need to do that is going to require preserving state is going to be when we're doing the word map, we're doing the word map across some process. And so what we may need to do is we may need to pass in the word map. That's one way to go about it. Pass it in a state. We turn this into an object. Okay, I'm going to give myself another half hour on this. That's not going to break me. That's going to leave me plenty of time to get, the work done today. I'm not super lost in this. It's not stealing 100,000% of my focus. Still be able to joke and have a good time, so this is not going to kill me. All right, replace triples, upsert triple. Oh, heaven help us. That one's going to... But anything that accesses these word maps, they need to be done across multiple calls. So I want this to work for the case of I just need to do one identification. And I also want it to work for the case of we're linting the registry, our registry. I'm renaming that, so I rename it elsewhere. Okay, and I think... Was it this one? Y'all hear that rain? There was one of these, I think I just brought it in. Where's the one that has the URLs for like SourceForge? There we go. So ended up that we were able to reduce all of these. These are not popular sites that host registries. So these ones we keep because GitHub releases, SourceForge, GitHub source, Git source. Those ones we keep because they're generic. So they stay in this matching library. And I think we've gotten all the non-generic stuff out, which is great. Okay, let me get back to here. Side effects-based programming paradigm. What was that in reference to? Zig compiles to WASM, if I recall correctly. Whoops, let's get that out of there. Does Zig compile to WASM? Yes, you can compile Zig to WASM. You can compile Go to WASM. That would be a bad choice to use Go. But I don't know what value that would give, right? Because you have to copy. I don't think there would be any value in that. Yeah, extra steps. And it'd probably be more memory intensive because you have to copy the memory over, and it could be a large chunk of memory, which means that, well, I guess I could implement this in a way that there'd still have to be a layer that's in JavaScript, of course. And so the layer that's here, I don't know. It should be snow. You're right. We had a warm spell for some reason. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of all these. And then we're going to bring this over here. Triplet dot upsert triplet. And then we're going to leave these ones as private for now. And then with that, this should be pretty darn generic. Okay, what's it griping about? There we go. All right, so this is where this could be a tier of tiers. OS Arch vendor libc. Lisp. So this is how we do this one. Instead of F tier. Terms map. S tier would be terms map primary. What's like canon, core, primary? What's the word I'm looking for? Standard. Just terms map primary for now. Let's see how we're going to do this. This is a comp time right here, baby. I saw a video where they talked about doing comp time like this, like a Zig comp time like this. I got to get back to that Zig project too. I want to, and I can. Terms alternate lists. Terms primary map, terms primary list, terms primary list into terms primary map, terms alternate maps list. Okay. And we might never use this, but I mean, it's not going to hurt. The added complexity is relatively small. So I'd rather have it and not need it for this tiny amount of complexity than need it and have to change the API. All right, terms map primary to terms primary map. That's it? That was the only place that was used? Okay, fine. Tiered maps. Okay, cool. So that's good. It was 31 degrees when you got up this morning. Let's see, what was it when I got up this morning? Looks like it has been really warm. Looks like it was in the 60s last night. That seems unreal, because it was down in the 30s, maybe even the 20s a few nights ago. Oh yeah, we can't have process.exit in here. Let's see what's being passed in here. Package name. And then what was this one? What was this triplet name? Triplet name. I put underscores there because I don't want people relying on that information. Oh, Bulid, my old friend. We meet again and again and again. It's so exciting to have you with us. Oh, Bulid.
We do miss you so. So I think I want this one to be terms to target. We need to have distinct names for the object version, the string version. So we could call the object version the target. We could call the string version the triplet, even though it's a quartet, but you know. The upsert triplet needs to have a name that makes some sort of sense. And it looks like the unknown map is figured out over in fetch builds somewhere, somehow. Alright, I'm just looking for the little error icon indicating where I'm actually missing a function. There we go. Package to triples is defined but never used. That's fine. Okay. Triplet dot looks installable. We'll have to fix a lot of these because we're going to change the names of them. Triplet dot normalize, but what I got to figure out what exactly we're normalizing. That words map is going to have to get passed in. I'm almost certain of it. I think that that is the strategy. And then everything has to be in the primary one. The primary one cannot define it, but it has to be there. If that makes sense. Alright, so I still missed something or other. Okay, package to triples. Yeah, that one's never used. That's fine. So get packages, show ders, freshen, random package. Alright, looks installable. There we go. So if you've got a better idea for what to name this, because the thing is that we're applying a heuristic to say this looks like it could be installed. We're not ruling it out as something that can't be installed. Whereas the other one, I think the goal here is 100% we can have false positives, but we can't have false negatives. So looks installable must return true if we can't rule out its installability.
Trim, name, and version. Okay. Download.split. Okay, so this one is not really that widely. This does not present a problem for us to move. So that becomes trim, name, and version is where that's at here. So that is where that will be here. All terms map. And then the rest of it. And this creates the pattern. And then we can split the pattern. Okay, so now we have this. Trim, name, and version wrapper. And I kind of want to order these reversey. Pass in package information, build information, name information. I might actually want to switch it around though and just say that when you call this, you should apply those items. Nah. I think we still need the concept of a package. But the thing that I created is basically where I wanted it to be. Terms map default. It's not that it's the default. It's actually the default would be the lowest tier, would be the default. It is more primary style because if these things match and something else contradicts them, that's okay. If these things match and they are contradicted, then that's a problem. That means that either that the lint process fails. Either you're naming your builds wrong, you're actually naming your builds wrong, or the code that's checking the build is wrong. So, for example, I had a typo between ARM64 and AMD64. So, if anything in the primary list matches on ARM64 and then the result ends up being AMD64 by some other method of selection, then there's a bug in the program, or the
there's a mismatch between the binary. So this happened yesterday with Flutter. So Flutter, oh, by the way, David, if you have a minute, I don't know if I tagged you on these, or maybe actually they might already be done. Let me go check here. Maybe I think actually Jojo looked at the stuff that needed to be looked at. Okay, yeah, Jojo looked at the stuff. So this one, like I said, this one is ready to be looked at if you care to look at it. I just like I will go back and I'll squash the commits, but I don't think I'm going to be making any changes to that. So if you wouldn't mind, go take a look at this one and just let me know if you find anything that seems out of place. Let me know. But that, yeah. So anyway, the point of it being the primary is that it is canon. It is strict. It is. It must contain all terms, even if it matches a term. So there's a few terms it contains just for completeness, because it won't assign any value to the term. The term just needs to be present. And then the other one is, like, for example, Win32 will match for ARM64 and AMD64. Or rather, not that it will match, but Win32 has become a generic term. So there are lots of things that are called Win32 because they've always been called Win32. And the fact that they're Win32 doesn't actually convey any information. So Win32 is an F tier term because it doesn't convey any information. So if we look at, let me go back there real quick. So this is what we can say about Win32, is we know for certain that it's Windows and the vendor is PC, but we don't know anything else. And Win64, I think, should probably go in that category as well. But this is true of Mac 64, Mac 32. Yeah, both these ones probably need to move as well. I haven't encountered the problem yet. That's why they're still up here. But these ones are bad. All of these are bad. None of these are good. These are all... well, Windows x86 is okay. That one's fine. But other than Windows x86... all of these are bad, and that one might be that it, like, there might need to be some sort of correction there or something. I don't know. I think there's only one package that has that, but we'll leave it in. Anyway, this one is correct. All the rest of these are ambiguous because, well, we have not discovered either of these Linux ones to be ambiguous, but we have discovered the Win32 and, let me just order these ambiguous. So we have discovered these to be ambiguous. Let's see, let's go ahead and put vendor unknown in here. If I was going to clean this up, what I would probably do, this should be an internals thing, not an externals thing. What I'd probably do is actually remove term so that we have a more limited set of what these things describe. So for example, I would call this one would be called Windows PC x86. I would probably just call this that and then assign it. In fact, I might do that. So I'm going to do a to-do here. Windows PC x86. I'll do the same thing down here.
So what I'd like to do is actually define all of the architectures. And then just assign them. That'd actually be good. I think I will do that. Yeah, I want to do that. Because we'd clean this up a little bit and we'd save a lot on memory. Because right now, the term being separate means that all of these have to be reused over and over again. But if we change the API slightly, in fact, let me go find where we have term.term. And I would do instead... Yeah, I would actually not do this way at all. And that's the only place we're using term.term? Let's see if that's true. Oh yeah, definitely we should fix this then. That should be known target. Not known matches, but known target. Okay, yeah. So, all right, this is going to get cleaned up. We're actually going to get rid of the list entirely. And instead of the key name will be, so Apple, Darwin, yada, yada, yada. These will be key names. And then... like that. And so we'll just spell out every single permutation, but there's not going to be that many of them. And we could probably just shorten the Darwin. Well, no, I'm going to leave it as Darwin Apple because there's going to be the time when the vendor changes, because I think the vendor is what changes to iOS. So I think vendor Apple means desktop and vendor iOS means phone processor, although it seems like those are going to... That might just go away. It may have already gone away, and it may just all be Apple vendor again because of the M1s in the time that the M1s have taken over. Anyway. So yeah, we will change that. That'll actually clean this up. It'll be a lot nicer. And then if we need to, change something, Tailwind style, baby. Tailwind. We're going to do Tailwind for target identifiers. That's the headliner here. Okay, cool. So with that, this is ready. But now the fetch builds is not entirely ready. Let's see how we're going to do this. See if this works. Cannot find module triplet. Should I call this instead? Triplet.js? Maybe. This one's actually kind of bogus. So I think that we need to skip it. No pattern generated for Webi actually makes sense. Because Webi was not... doesn't really exist. Like it says version 000. So I think we are going to just add that to an exclusion. Rather than deal with it right now for the problem that it created. So when we go through the builds, yeah, that one just needs to be fixed. Well, no, for now it just needs to be excluded. I mean, we can fix it later, but okay. If package.name is Webi, continue. Bow package for no good reason. All right, so let's run this again. All right, let's think about how to fix this real quick. Okay, no pattern generated for Webi. Oh, okay, because it doesn't have a name property on the package itself. Got it. You know, we've got the caret, but we don't have a down arrow. And that's too bad. It really is. It's a shame. It's a crying shame. It's a crime. All right, so we're going to let that one go. Word map is not defined. That's right, suckers. The all terms map now, baby. Okay, cool. So, yeah, that works. No new / unknown terms. A bunch of sources were skipped. A bunch of packages were found. And then let's see what the time is on that. It's probably a little bit slow because of the string output. Yeah, that's a little bit slow there. Oh, whoops. Timing on the wrong thing. Let's time that. Let's see. Yeah, that's half a second. I mean, that's a lot of time. Do we have real time versus... Yeah. Let's see what happens. So I just want to throw time at this again. About half a second each time, a little bit of jitter, but pretty darn close to 51 milliseconds on the one thing, and for about 460, 458 kind of is our average on the other. Looks like. Okay, anyway. First of all, let's make sure that the triplet should not have any stray logging. Okay, so this, for example, should go away. If we need to communicate this in some way, we need to have a special return value. And that's fine. We could do, you know, a return of 0, you know, like to identify that we skipped source versus... or we could do the opposite. You know, we could create some sort of enum here to do enum code, and we could have it so that, you know, maybe maybe we should call it not installable, and then we could have. We could either throw... No, I don't want to throw errors. That would just take up too much time. But I do want to return a reason. I want to return a reason as to why is this not installable. Okay. And I don't think that the string can really justify all that slowness. I think that it's just slow. I mean, yeah, that basically changed the time by nothing. So, I mean, thankfully, we don't have to run on all 26,000 assets every time. But still, that's, I mean, it's, we need to get, if let's say that I fetch the latest caddy releases, that's 1/10 of the time. I can't have that be taking up 50 milliseconds because we need to get through all the packages every hour. So if there's going to be, you know, user requests and we have to refresh the packages every 15 minutes and some of them are, you know, 2,000, 4,000. I mean, there's only a few that are 2,000 or 4,000 releases, but we need this to be fast. We need it to be boop. I mean, just, let's just get some... It's not quite as slow as we would think. Okay, console.log hello world. Let's see, it's probably faster if we don't have an error. But yeah, so running node, that's our startup time. 35 milliseconds. So, yeah, this is just bad. But we'll figure it out. Now, this isn't a make it or break it right now. This is not currently implemented. I think that it's 100% accurate, but it's really slow. I thought that changing everything from regular expressions to maps was going to be a big time save, but it turns out that it wasn't. Actually, I have an idea. Hold on. Oh. There we go. Fetch, releases, and assign build targets. Very descriptive name. Not going to go unnoticed. Okay. All right, so this is getting really close. So when I work on this tomorrow, you know, for a couple hours, like this morning was 2.5 hours, not so bad. A little over my target budget by like an hour and a half, but no, it's good. I'm at a good stopping point for the day.
All right, let me go back to comments here. Downward caret is the letter V. What? What? Why was I not thinking that? Duh. Oh my gosh. Oh man. Thank you. Thank you for that. That is correct. It's not quite the same though. It's not quite the same. Look at the thickness on that. These are absolutely thinner. They're a little bit wider. That one's a little deeper. Close though. I'm gonna stick with these. All right. So basically, I need two modes on this. I need a lint mode, and I need a classify mode. The classify mode should not throw the same kinds of errors. There should be errors, but I need to distinguish between classification errors and linting errors. Linting errors is you are running this independently, stop the world, and deal with it. And then the other errors are going to be errors that are, hey, this is literally running as part of the Webi service, so it can't, process.exit. That's Nem Sabad, as we say in the old country. Okay. Profile it. Flame graphs of performance bottlenecks are awesome. It's plausible the map is made funky using memory badly, allocating, reallocating a bunch of stuff. JS can be funky with that. Yeah, it is. Well, but it is going through, let's see. It's going through 26,000 things, and then it is looping probably at least 5 times over it. But still, that's not a lot. I don't think there's any n squareds in there. The closest that we had to an n squared was when it was doing regexes. And it still does a fair number of regexes because it has to match patterns in order to get things where they'll fit in the map. But that's also where I'm hoping that essentially to do machine learning. Poor man's machine learning. So what I'll do is we'll run through one time and we'll create the pattern matcher. So we'll say if it looks like this. So what we can do, and we can skip over the regexes, is that once we have, and I could even do this now, but I'm not going to. Not going to, because I got to move on to the paid work so I can get my bills paid. But once we've defined a pattern, we can stick that pattern in a map. And then all we need to do is do a regular string replace. Let me show you where that is real quick. But I'm not going to do it. I promise I'm not going to actually do the work. I'm not. I'm really not. I'm telling myself that. I'm making a commitment not to do it because that could be a rabbit hole. But I just want to show where it goes. Hold on. And so actually things for next time. I'm going to go with notes, to-dos, This will be really interesting to see how it changes things. But so before we get here, so the normalize is probably the most expensive function. But once we've normalized once, we shouldn't have to normalize again for that same pattern. So up here, Let's see. Trim, name, and version. All right, this one we're pretty much always going to have to do. There is a way that we could get around it. I actually want to think about that a little bit. I'd have to look at this, because what we possibly could do is everything that uses a regex here, other than the version replacement and the name escape, everything else that uses a regex, we could delay until the normalize, I think. So these two regexes have to take place. I don't think there's any way to get around them. These ones we could possibly delay, but then we have some issues with where things appear in the URL. But let's just leave all that in. Let's not even touch it. Let's just try one thing at a time. But if we, and I'll have to look into some flame graph tools. That would be cool. Let's see. Flame graph node module. But this one pretty much has to run. But once we have this right here, once we have this as a pattern, whatever this pattern results to in the normalize phase, it's going to be exactly the same for every other version. So if there are 20,000 versions of this thing, there's only going to be maybe 16 patterns. Well, let's say 2,000 versions. So if you look at Go, there's only going to be maybe 16 patterns that result in that. And once you have the pattern, you can apply it. You have to be able to get the pattern by doing this trim, name, and version. But once you've done that, the normalize can be memoized. Oops. And we'll need to bring that in. We'll have to do a commit where we bring this in, we deploy it the whole way through, and then we make other changes. But basically, we'll have the whole thing ready. We'll deploy it the whole way through, and then once we have everything ready, then we will maybe have some flag or switch or something to test it, and be able to test it in production. That would be pretty cool. Maybe a new API. Use a new classification API, and some sort of switch in the Webi command. Or a flag in the URL parameter, a switch in the Webi command, something like that. Anyway, but we'll bring this in, and then we'll get it through. But the ARM thing is going to kill me. That's the thing where I don't even think I'm going to need to post on Reddit or something and ask people to provide user agent strings for Raspberry Pi and stuff. I'm gonna like post in self-hosted, or I don't know where I'll get that, but I need to get more data on that. And I need to make sure that our stats are actually capturing that, because right now I think our stats are not capturing the full user agent string. I think they truncate it, which is, good, because we don't want all the information in the world about the users. But I think that they truncate it a little too much, too aggressively, because originally the way that we were getting the information was with uname-a, which is way too much information. In fact, it's so much information that it's actually conflicting, and it hurts the categorization. Makes it more difficult. But anyway, So yeah, this is machine learning at its finest right here. Is we create the pattern, we normalize the pattern, but once we have the pattern and the normalization, then we can skip the normalization, we can memoize it. That in a spreadsheet, and then boom, make a startup for a bajillion dollars. Loops are cheap, loop copies are not. Memory copies are not. Yeah. Okay. Is this what I should do? Is this okay? Is this safe? I mean, it's recommended by... How many dependencies this is? Holy shiz dizzles. Seriously? And it looks like they just screwed up. They put a bunch of dev dependencies in here. And there's a bunch of really old stuff. I think this is one of my modules. I don't know if mine was FS Extra or FS.extra. Is this one that I'm a collaborator on? No, I'm not a collaborator on this one. Okay. That's not needed anymore. They should just clean this up. Like, get rid of all the crap. Get rid of FS Extra. You don't need that. You did, you know, back in the day. But anyway, all right. I will risk it. For the fans. Okay. But yeah, let's try this out. And then let's pin it to a particular version. Version 5.5. 0x at 5. I'll probably use this all the time now. Well, I probably won't, because I generally don't deal with performance issues. You know, I have thought about using the ChatGPT API to do that. It would be really expensive, though. It's not expensive in a business use case. It's really expensive in an open source use case. I've also thought about doing it with CodeLlama. But I think that I'm more satisfied having it be 100% accurate than having it be mostly accurate. All right, I gotta go, I don't know, grab a little... I'm not actually hungry for a little lunch snack, but I'm going to grab a lunch snack. I'm going to get off the stream. But I will test this. This is something that's useful. Oh, bless me. But I'm really happy to finally have this thing, and we couldn't have done it in the beginning. In the beginning, it had to be guess and check because we only had, 10 packages. But now that we've got hundreds of packages, or projects, installables, hundreds of installables, which we also need to find a way to clean that up a little so you can see the README. Okay, so 0x. And then, what was it?
That should be dash capital O or something, but whatever. This is the coolest thing that I've ever done. Opening up a flame graph. I don't understand. How do I zoom in? Oh, that's not what I wanted. So trim name inversion is what takes the most? Is that... I actually don't understand what this is telling me. I really am not sure what to make of this. This is meaningless to me. Jekyll 10, help me. What does this even mean? Could I maybe view this as like not a flame graph, but as something else? I have no idea what to make of this. In case, you know, just me saying it over and over and over and over and over again, you know, if that's not clear. It doesn't seem to say anything. It just... And why is this one white? But yeah, it seems like the trim and name version one is where the most of the slowdown is. So, I mean, that does kind of tell me that memoizing the normalizer may be a useless task. So there might be some things that could be done to the regular expressions that are in the trim and name version. But if that's truly where all the time suck is, if that's what this is telling me, I don't know, is this...
Is this supposed to represent time? Like which, there's not even axes here. Like which direction is time on this? Okay, I take it back. This is not the coolest thing I've ever done. I thought this was going to be super cool, but... Oh, disabled by default. That's what I want. So how do I enable this? Tiers. Oh, okay. There's a lot of module loading. That seems like it should. Oh, yeah. That makes sense. Okay. Okay, so maybe most of the time is actually just the fact that I'm requiring all those modules. So there's the GitHub regular expression. So if I could tune that and move that one around. That one is kind of important. I don't know if I can make that one any better. Archiver. Source. That seems kind of weird that that would match so many things or take up so much time. So this is kind of weird because it seems like... Oh, why can I not move this up? I can move it down, but I can't move it up? It seems like an oversight. I can move it left and right, but I can't get to the bottom of things. All right, I'm done with this. Okay, upwards doesn't matter in terms of time spent. It's just the depth of the call. Okay, let me check this out. Okay, widest bar is your biggest consumer. Okay, so main is doing all the work. Okay, get packages. Oh, okay, that's helpful. Thank you. You can see the line number for what leads to that part of the slowness. 388, but it says it's main, so I'm assuming that it's just main. So let me double check that. Yeah, so that's just where main is defined. And then same thing here. Okay, looks installable is a very small amount of time. Trim and name version wrapper is larger. Not really that much. Trim name and version. Oh, okay, so this has two pieces. So 380 and wait, 380? They're both at 380? I'm confused. What's the missing piece in the middle there? And why is this one pink and that one isn't? And how is it possible the trim name, the other one, the other one doesn't even show up here? So I'm going to take a look at this again. Okay, it's saying I could just inline that. That's probably true. I mean, is this taking up all of that? I don't know. But if this is taking up all the time, I mean, I could implement this just, go through, find code load, keep going until you find tags. I mean, I guess that would be a little simpler. What if we just did that? Oh no, because this one we actually want to grab these things because that's the project and the version and whatever. But again, it doesn't seem like it should be that slow because it's just grab. I mean, let me see what it says is the slow part. But it does, I mean, this is where I'm confused. It's showing, okay, this regular expression, which is where I would think there would be a lot of issues, is... But it's going to quit out on this so quickly. If it doesn't start with HTTPS, it's gone. So well... I don't know. I don't know what to make of this. 380, okay. Time is on the left to right in flame graphs, hence the name. That doesn't actually make sense to me. Flame graph having to do time is left or right. I don't know how that's related. Unless you experience sideways flames often. Yeah. Color of the segment is always below the segment. Most upwards is the part where it only accesses system calls or memory manipulations. Nice, you can see which CPP libraries it's touching, which seemed to be the expensive part. Oh, whoops. Sorry, I didn't. Let me pull that back up. Actually... Oh! Oh! I'm sorry I didn't read that sooner. But I still have no idea what this means. Because it says shared lib, and I don't have any details on that. Yeah, I don't think that inline is really that big of a deal. Okay. The uppest part is the most specific, right? If you enable CPP, you can see which part of the library it's a branch. Both branches are expensive at line 380, but one is 50% more. Regex is fast. Enable CP and V8. Sorry, I wasn't reading your comments because I was being dumb. Yeah, so we now have V8 and CPP enabled, but this doesn't really tell me anything useful. And I don't understand the big gap here. $380 and $380. So you're saying it's a branch, and one of the branches is much more expensive. Okay. Creating the array, that's what's expensive. Here's what we'll do. We'll do... Perf hack, baby. Right here. There, we won't allocate the array. Is that it? Is that what's going to save us? Oh, it didn't save us. Oh, wait. No, it's a different one. That makes sense. They're going to generate different whatchamadoodles. That's interesting. That seems like a very different stack.
I also don't get... Yeah, I don't understand a lot of this stuff. Well, now we get different information. So the regex is fast, but the replace is slow? Is that what I'm looking at? So if I go back to trim name and version, I'm going to look at your comments because your comments are extremely helpful and I should not ignore them. I'm just... Okay, yeah, the replace is 100% of what's going on here. But anyway, I do want to see, did that make a difference time-wise? Holy day! Oh, we trimmed off at least 5 millis. At least! At least 5 millis on average. Gone. Woo! Man, saved the day with that one. Okay, alright, I'm gonna get off of this because this is not actually helpful. It's cool for me to learn about this, but I'm taking it too far. I like the option amount, but I sure wish I knew what was going on. String prototype replace. I don't know how JS works deep enough. Okay. Well, I mean, it looks like... Can it tell me which line this replaces on? Because there's, you know, there's a bunch of replaces. 381. Or... Okay, don't show me C++. I think before it just wasn't showing this. So half of our time is spent there, and then half of our time is spent in some other... So there's 2 string replaces. And one happens later and it's more expensive. I don't know. I don't know what to make of this. Look, it's just all nonsense, okay? It's all nonsense. It doesn't mean anything. Somebody drew some pictures and somebody else got investment money for it, and we're left with me staring at the screen, looking at numbers that don't mean anything. I changed an array allocation, and now it shows me something, whatever. But it's okay. It's okay. I know that the string replacements are going to be expensive. I just... It'd probably be less. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. This is silliness. It's a fool's errand. I'm getting distracted. I'm now 3 hours in. I've spent an hour, like half an hour or more on this. This one piece, it's not important. It's not going to make a difference for me. It was interesting to look at. It was good to look at. But I need to move on with the rest of my day so I can be a productive citizen of the world. Or at least have the pretense, you know. I still want to try the normalizing and see. Because that thing didn't really tell me much. But yeah, if replacing the name is where all of the trouble is, then the memoizing might not be worth the memory. I mean, when you're talking about that kind of stuff in JavaScript, it's like JavaScript's no longer the right tool for the job. So maybe I should rewrite it in Zig. But if I rewrote it in Zig, I mean, I could write a parser in JavaScript that goes through and checks, you know, each next character of a string, and then rather than doing a replace, because here's the other thing that we could do. Okay, I'm going to try this. I'm not going to spend more than 3 minutes on this. Okay, because I allowed myself. I didn't do the thing that I said I wasn't going to do, whatever that was. See, I don't even remember anymore. But okay, so check this out. Replace. That one we need to do. That one we need to do. We need to reconstruct the same string. This one we need to do. I don't know what that comment means. I could get rid of that. Okay, but this one, where we do the match, that's good. We do the match here, that's good. Okay, so this one, we don't actually need to do a replace. We could just do... and I don't know that this is any better, right? I imagine they would optimize things like this away. But we could just do get source matches equals download.match get source re, and then we would just do download get source matches 2. And likewise, we could do the same thing with this. We could say let half match equals do another thing we could do, which I just want to see what happens here. GitHub release RE. We can take this out because we don't actually have to remake that every time, although that's not where this problem is. But just for the sake of... I'm pretty sure that it's smart enough to know not to recreate these regular expressions. Okay, actually, let's leave them in for the time being. Let's leave them in for the time being. Okay, so download. Path RE equals path match equals download.match path RE. But then we have to do an if on these too. I forgot about that. If get source matches. You know, if path match. This one right here, I could see being particularly expensive because it actually has to create the regular expression every time. Now, we could just create this once per package. But let's just look at the string problem right now. That one's pretty cut and dry. We want to match up to this one. What I would do if I wanted to change this to not be a replace is I would match up to the first occurrence of an opening bracket, and then off of that I would match up to the last occurrence of a slash before that. We'll leave that one alone. So download ends with whatever. So that replace we can't really get rid of. That replace we can get rid of. So let's do that. Name match equals, and we'll do download.match name re. Name match 2. So it would be really weird if this changed the performance at all. Because the only difference we're doing is saying, okay, you don't have to replace inside the string. You just return a new string and forget about the old string. So if anything, it seems like this would be possibly, well, actually I have no idea. I have no idea how to say what it would likely or unlikely be. Oh! We shaved another millisecond on average. Or not. And then just for fun, I'm going to do one last thing, which is I'm going to move the name RE out. Again, I'm assuming the JIT already does this, but we're going to go with it. There we go. Now we've simplified that. Okay, again, I would think that the JIT optimizer is going to see, oh, you never modify this thing. You know, it's just put it in the same place. This one I don't think there's any help with because the version's going to be fairly different every time. So I don't think that it's worth trying to do anything funny with that. I think for readability, it's better to have those right next to where they're used, but just to kind of see. Yeah, nothing. No significant change, which is what I expected. Yeah, like, there's no difference. There's no difference. In fact, it looks like now it's running a little faster, so I think it has more to do with what it ate for breakfast than it has to do with those micro optimizations. So micro optimization's bad. We can all go back to business micro optimization's bad. Let's go back to business as usual. Okay, and with that, I'm out. I'm gonna go get to the real work, but I may be back. Okay. It's not sequential, it's a collection of all that happened during a run. Okay. I mean, I found an argument on string replace. You could more accurately handle the memory in Zig. Sure. Yeah. Linked article in Discord. Okay, I'll check it out. Trust the compiler. Yes. What does OFC means? Of course. That could be extracted into compile time in Zig, maybe. Yeah, but it's still extracted into compile time. Yeah, the once per package part, right. But the JIT optimizer is already doing it. Either that or it takes so little time that it just doesn't matter. So, I'm going to go with, it doesn't matter. I'm out. That was not the best use of the first half of my day, but it was a good learning experience. Meh. I may be back. I may be able to stream some of the client stuff I'm working on as well. But for now, I will go. Adios.